So, Will, you heard about this outbreak?
Uh-huh.
You're following it. I know you're following it.
Yes.
You're big on it. Like you just stay up to date,
Mm-hmm.
which is good. Somebody around here has to stay up to date and then inform us. Well, it didn't really hit the tech world until today. Actually, I don't know if it was today. It might have been affecting the tech world probably before today, but we have a story today. And the reason I'm saying it's probably going to have affected it prior to today is because of the epicenter of where this outbreak took place in China. I'm talking about the corona.
Yes. Wuhan.
And that's also where all your stuff comes from. We think these iPhones are coming from. And so we have this story today on Reuters, your favorite news source. Mostly because you enjoy saying the name. So go ahead. You have some time here if you like.
Reuters.
There you go.
I said it right.
Willie do. Gold bond, Willie do. Gold bond.
Yeah.
Exclusive. I don't know what makes it exclusive. Reuters has some inside sources, I guess. And at the front of the article, it says Taipei. Reuters in Taipei. Now, you know the thing about Taipei. You know the thing about Taiwan.
You've been there.
Were you with me?
No.
Taipei, Taiwan, you're talking about Foxconn. You understand? You see the rhymes?
Yeah. Yeah.
So if you're talking about Foxconn, you're talking about iPhone. You're talking about Apple. And because of this outbreak, we're starting to see an impact on the tech world. It's starting to influence the tech news. And so that's where it sort of crossed over into coverage for this show, where you start to properly recognize the potential for something like this, not just to affect human beings who are directly connected to it, human beings who are exposed to it or in these locations that have the worst part of the outbreak, but also people around the world in different ways considering this potential slowdown in manufacturing. Foxconn could see a big production impact and shipments to customers, including Apple, face disruption if a Chinese factory halt due to the coronavirus outbreak extends into a second week. So now I can understand people are probably, you could look at this and say, you're worried about your iPhone right now?
Yeah.
Man, people are in rough shape right now.
Yeah.
You talking about your iPhone right now? So that could be rude, but what's interesting, you dig a little deeper, or you at least you think about it from a different angle, and you realize, well, it's not just you and your iPhone or the price you're paying for it or the lack of availability to get it because of the shutdowns in the factories. Also, what happens to those workers that aren't sick but can't really get back to business, back to their lives? Are they getting paid in the meantime? Are they getting the same amount if they would have been working? Are they getting the same opportunities? What do their lives look like in the meantime? So it's like multifaceted, the type of impact that this potentially has right here. But anyway, in different regions, they've had a varying degree of shutdown, and varying dates for expectations for coming back. And it ranges from February 8th all the way up to February 10th. Of course, in the south of China, closer to the epicenter, those dates have been pushed back the furthest. But that's where the majority of manufacturing takes place as well. So the potential for impact is also greatest from a global perspective in the south. It's where your gadgets are coming from. It's where a lot of your stuff is coming from. Taiwan's Foxconn, which makes smartphones for Apple and other brands, has halted almost all of its production in China after companies were told to shut until at least February 10th. Now, this is according to Reuters' exclusive source, who is unnamed, but he or she is a source familiar with the matter. A source to be trusted, according to Reuters. Reuters, a source you trust.
I do.
Therefore, you see how that works? They trust their source. You trust them as a source. You got to trust, a lot of trust getting passed around here. You trust them, they trust this. And The source told Reuters on Monday that Foxconn has so far seen a fairly small impact from the outbreak, as it was utilizing factories in countries including Vietnam, India, and Mexico to fill the gap from the domestic shutdown within China. Now, as of right now, the company says we can make up for that delay if we get back to work on the 10th. But some people are speculating that it ain't going to be as easy as it sounds to get back to work on the 10th. If things don't lighten up with this outbreak, it could extend into another week, at which point then it really starts to impact the economics. And I get it. I hear the criticism. Forget about the economics. Human beings. But human beings are also affected by the economics.
Right.
Like I said before, even the people who work there, it's so interconnected in the communities there. I've been there.
There was also Chinese New Year, which probably had a delay. People taking off breaks, and then you have this outbreak.
Came at a terrible time.
Yeah,
came at a terrible
people are just
time.
not working.
Yeah.
Like a month.
So anyway, it obviously sucks. Nobody wants this, but it does seem to be the thing at the moment. The best thing to do is in the meantime, because this thing spreads, it gets worse. You rush to get back, and then you could end up with a bigger problem than you had in the first place. Now, apparently, they want people to be honest. They want workers to tell the truth if they've been sick. They're trying to incentivize people to tell the truth. In the event that people don't, they set up a hotline to encourage employees to report those who had broken those rules, may have been infected, decided to work anyways. And there's a reward of $29 if you out somebody anonymously.
Oh, man.
The company said employees who follow the rules will be paid as usual, and those who fail to do so will be severely punished, although it did not elaborate. But like I said, it's a serious situation, so regardless of how you look at this, people got to limit their exposure to other people when something like this happens. There's no other way around it. It's the best way to deal with it. But it turns out it's hard to live a life. It's especially hard to live a productive life when you can't leave your premises in 2020. You can't get out of your space. And that's where we're at right now. So anyway, you may see this start to impact more tech companies. It'll be interesting to see how this unfolds and how far-reaching those effects happen to be beyond just the human physical toll, but also into the economic side of things.